Look up the word crazy in the dictionary and you might just find an asterisk beside the definition that says, listen to the Subiquitous podcast featuring Sue Duffield and you'll find out what crazy means. Sue's travelogue journey of unfiltered stories, impossible miracles, and faith-filled fun will be revisited right here. So buckle up and let's get going with this humorous travelogue of an unfiltered saint, Subiquitous.
Hey, Jeffrey, I got rid of the couch, and I'm so happy because you asked me to sit with you and watch the Phillies play, watch your sports teams, and I lay on that couch that we only bought for about $175 about 5 years ago, and I couldn't take it anymore.
I've noticed.
So it's gone.
It
is. It is absolutely out the door.
And I didn't find it as distressful as it was for you.
To some.
But I don't know what your problem was with it, but you didn't like it.
I was just like over it. So I thought, okay.
Now let me ask a question.
Uh-oh.
Is that more, I think I know what you're going to say, but is this more of a physical issue with you, or is it more of a female / decorative, change the layout of the room, change the look of the room issue?
Well,
be honest now.
Okay. This whole podcast is nothing but honesty.
Well, hopefully.
I will say to you with my eyes closed as you look at me from across the room, because I'm afraid to look at you. I'm going to laugh. It's everything you just said. It's all the above.
Well, now we're full disclosure.
I just dropped my cord. But yes, I got to tell you, it wears me out. It just wore me out.
Well, the stated reason was you were not comfortable.
I wasn't.
That was the stated reason.
And after being on the road,
but as they say in sales trainings, the first 3 or 4 answers are not the real reason why someone doesn't buy.
No, but,
and the salesman's job is to handle all the objections and get down to the 4th or 5th reason that they actually find out why. And then when you handle all the objections, then you have a sale.
Yeah, but there was no hiding. You knew exactly. I was done with it. I was just done with it.
Oh, like every time you come in that room, you said something about it. I've been taking noteworthy.
And since we moved in this new townhouse, we've been slowly but surely replacing things that have had a lot of wear to them.
I don't know how slowly. We moved in here and bought a new couch and a piano within
you could be
the
replaced.
First 2
don't
weeks.
forget.
Yeah. That's why I keep moving.
But anyway, in a nice sort of way,
yes.
Then I decided to go to the furniture store.
Well, you said that the couch that we have that's downstairs, you said, well, we'll pay that off.
We'll pay that one off.
This was the first.
Right.
First was day one of rationalization. We'll pay off the couch.
It's dangerous when I start talking, though. But
you move in the direction of your dominant thoughts.
Well,
and I thought, oh boy. So, as I was here working hard this week in front of my trusty musical computer, working hard. Yes, working very hard. You said. Well, you went out to run errands, and then the next thing I know is you walk in.
Listen,
and your first words were when you came in my office was, "I did something bad."
Yeah, I did,
and I knew
it wasn't bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
No,
but it was.
I knew immediately what you had done.
Well, I walked in the showroom. I talked to the lady, and I said, "Here's my dilemma. I hate watching television with my husband on that awful couch, and I need the most comfortable couch you have in this showroom."
And that's like putting meat in front of a hungry dog.
Well, and you know what? She was very honest, and she said, we've got something right here on the floor that's a model that we're discontinuing. Would you be interested in this one? For several shekels cheaper than what I could order it with.
She saw you coming.
Anyway, all that to say, so then they say, then I asked them, I said, if you deliver this new couch, how can I get rid of my old couch? And they said, voila, we have an answer for you. We'll give you Habitat for Humanity. So then I call Habitat, and they tell me they can't pick up the couch for 2 weeks.
Well, that was point number 2 in your rationalization
like,
earlier in the week is that,
no.
well, if I get a new couch, then the store that we buy it from will come take.
I know they don't do that anymore.
Right.
That tells you how long we haven't.
Rationalization number 2.
So anyway, long story short, I listed it on Marketplace, and I decided, you know what? I am not going to sell this thing. I listed it for $10 just to get attention, and in a matter of what? Maybe 15 minutes.
Oh, you said you had 35 people.
I had at least 35 people wanting this couch.
Well, you have to put a dollar value.
You have to, right.
Even if you're giving it away, right?
So this young couple comes all the way down from Lebanon, which is probably about an hour drive to Rockville, where we are. And she's already telling me her story. Of course, I don't know what it is about me. I ask questions and people tell me their story.
That's a start.
It is, and it's just wonderful. But they walk in and I just decide, I'm giving you everything you want. And so I gave them a sofa.
Yes, you did.
I gave them an ottoman.
Yes, you did.
I gave them an old television.
Yes, you did.
What else? I gave them a table. I gave them 2 mirrors.
Had they stayed here another 15 minutes, we probably would be going back to Costco to buy more furniture.
I know, but she says to me as they pile it all on, and it was just one of those moments. And I got to tell you, I felt like my father for a minute. My father, when I remember standing at the casket in the receiving line, I would have people come up to me and tell me their stories. And they would say things like, you have no idea. Your dad gave me $30 when I had no money. Your father gave me this, this old thing that he didn't want anymore, or your dad gave me $1,000. And our family knew nothing about this stuff.
No, you didn't.
And we didn't realize.
Probably a good thing.
Well, it probably was with my mother who held the checkbook. But the good thing through all of that was yesterday and the day after the couple left, I got to tell you, Jeff, I was walking around here feeling like this is what life really is about, truthfully.
Well, it is.
It's giving out of the joy of saying not only, this wasn't bad stuff I was giving away. This was good stuff. I just was tired of it. Anyway.
Well, the mirrors and the TV we weren't using anymore.
No, we weren't. They
the
were
couch
in the attic,
we were still using,
no.
and we were wondering, in case anyone listening hasn't noticed, if you ever have to get rid of a television.
You can't.
They say, well, let's recycle. Yeah, go ahead and try.
Well, listen, then I found out the recycling place here in Rutherford County, they will not take they will not take these widescreen televisions. That's why you see them on the side of the road.
Yeah.
With,
Yeah. Now, and that television worked. We just decided we wanted a newer model.
Yeah,
but it worked.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. But I want to say this.
Okay.
And this is what I think, again, this is not new information. And it surely isn't something that's, truly profound or brand new. But man, when you allow God to prosper you, I found this quote, and it's just absolutely right on. God prospers his people to raise their standard of giving, not their standard of living.
Right.
But their standard of giving.
We're supposed to be conduits.
And so how long
we were conduiting?
I mean,
Thursday.
I know. It's one thing, and I have friends of mine that'll tell you, the blessing of giving, we've heard it over and over again. It's more blessed to give than receive. And, that's chapter 20 in Acts. But, I honestly lived it through the eyes of that couple and their 3 babies and their pit bull dog.
Yeah, at least.
And their car that probably was at least 15 years old. Yeah. And a trailer that looked like it came out from a farm somewhere. I thought to myself, just for a minute, the appreciation of where we have been and where we're going, and this whole philosophy of where God has promoted us. And I'm not surely bragging here, but I'm saying for anybody listening right now, in promotion in every possible way. We're not talking just promotion and money. I'm talking about opportunities, but giving yourself permission to ask God to say, listen, show me today, God, who I can give to. Oh, that is the most amazing philosophy to have. God, put someone in my path today that I can bless and who I can and just do things for. So maybe that's what the difference is, being 69 versus being 39.
Maybe.
Where I was much more of a hoarder. And, I loved all my things that I had, and I surely would want to ask for money for it. This couple offered me at least, $40, $50 for all the stuff that I get. And I said, I don't want your money.
Nah.
I don't want your money. I want you to enjoy this.
It was worth it for me not to have to carry that couch and that television and that ottoman downstairs.
Yeah. I know, but I don't know. There's nothing, like I say, nothing new. And there surely isn't anything that's different. But I am saying once again, even with music, Jeff, I watch you, how God blesses you and your music and your arrangement and helping other artists. If they were to go to Nashville and, hire some high positioned producer to do what you do.
A big shot producer as opposed to me.
Well, I'm talking, let's face it, nobody knows who we are, so it's okay. But I'm saying
it just struck me funny.
It is funny because that is the way we've always approached it. I've never, ever, ever wanted to be a name, and you never did either. At the same time, we watch how some of the other organizations, publishing houses, recording institutions around the world that are making buco dollars what they do. But yet at the same time, I wonder, you're busy. And you're busy doing the ministry, and I praise God for that. Yeah, no doubt. And I don't know. I just got to go back to Acts 17. It says, I really believe this. It says, first of all, everything we have comes from God. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
My talent, whatever the treasure, it's a result of His blessings on our lives, and I'm believing that for everyone who's listening right now. What do you have that hasn't come from Him? Seriously, what possibly do you have in your possession that hasn't come from God? Absolutely nothing. So every person He's created has been blessed from His hand, and in Him we live and move and literally have our being. We have that amazing song that we used to sing years ago, back in the 70s, that talks about that. But then there's also a responsibility, Jeff. And, in Psalm 24, it says that the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. Mm-hmm. And it's not that it's mine first, and then I ask God what I should do with what's left over. Instead, living that generosity on a daily basis is about seeing that it's all about God first, and then seeking Him for what He wants me to do with what He has been given. A lot of responsibility on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. A lot of responsibility because, let's face it, the ministries that you're blessing with your orchestrations, they are going to do ministry, mm-hmm. and you're a part of that.
Right.
So,
that's right.
I don't know about you, but God does not prosper His people so that they can spend it all on themselves.
No.
I've never seen that.
No.
And we get into that whole prosperity thing that I want to kind of stay away from right now, especially in this culture. But I want to know, more than anything, wouldn't you rather have God prosper the people to raise the standard of giving and not just the standard of living?
Well, let me interject something there. When you talk about prosperity, how can you feed anyone? How are you able to bless that couple that came over here the other day with a couch and a television and an ottoman? That was because, quote unquote, you were being prosperous from God.
Right.
So how can you feed someone if you don't have any food?
Right.
So you have to be prosperous, if you will.
Right.
Now, greedy, that's a different story.
Yeah.
And that's not what you're talking about.
No.
But God is, as we said earlier, we were talking about with a situation, if it, helping other people or other folks finding this formula, if you will. There's a biblical principle that says God is not a respecter of persons, means what He will do for you and I, He will do with someone else if they follow the formula, if you will, or the principle that God has laid down, which is to give.
That's right.
And that's what we're attempting to do.
Well, and it's just, what did you say to me the other day? I hope it would be interesting to see if God really, really, really made you really, really rich, because you'd be broke the next day. And it is probably the truth, because
you probably would
I absolutely, there's a scientific thing that what happens in your brain when you are giving out of the joy of your heart, the oxytocin in your body increases. And there's all kinds of healing agents that happen into your immune system when you are joyful at giving something away.
We're supposed to give.
Oh, my word. And so I want to be that funnel. I know you do too.
Yep.
And finally, I got to say in closing, I don't have to wait until I have the money to bless people. Or we don't have to wait till we have things to bless people.
No, it's not a dollar amount. There's no minimum amount or anything. You give for what you have.
And you know what? Here's another thing, and we've seen it over and over again, especially as we as we go into this launching of really reaching a whole new world of senior saints. And that's really where we are. We are touching the lives of people.
Yeah, because we is one.
That's right. Our age and older. And, it's kind of fun to do these events where the average age is 80, because now I still feel like a teenager.
That's the truth.
But at the same time, I'm seeing what they have offered to me with their word gifts. Mm-hmm. Oh, my word. The stories that come out of their mouths and their hearts of how God brought them through such horrific situations that made no sense in the kingdom of God and in this world. And then yet look where they are. And they're 90 years old. They're walking 4 and 10 miles a day. And they're singing the praises of God. They're standing with their hands lifted up. And, there's no hesitation for an elderly couple that we've recently been introduced to, where we watch how their lives have just been such a blessing. And man, do I ever want to be at that point in my life. Because the practice of living a life of generosity, it doesn't happen, I'll wait until I get rich, or I'll wait till I have some money in my account, or I'll wait until God blesses me. No, it really is the other way around. In order for God to bless you, you have to start with nothing and be able to bless other people. And the greatest testimonies happen when we live in an abundant mindset rather than believing the lie that we have nothing to share. We can begin to see how good God has been to us.
And you don't always have to give money.
No.
You can give of your time. You can
right.
give of your talent, your ability. You can give of your heart.
That's right.
It doesn't always have to be money.
Right.
We think that, but we're locked into that mentality. That's part of it, but it's not all of it.
But I love to get in a conversation with someone who recently at the tire store, of all places, he's retired, lives in Rockville, Jeff, and he drives a really, really nice GMC truck. I mean, this thing is loaded. I don't think I could get in it. It's like 9 feet tall. And he's 67, and he and his wife are retired, and they live right down the street from us. And within just 20 seconds of the conversation, we didn't even have to go anywhere. I knew immediately that he was a Christian, and I'm pretty sure that he knew I was. He didn't see the Jesus is Lord sticker on the back of my Enclave, but I know immediately. He said, I said that truck is awesome, and this is his response. He said, you know what? I waited my whole life. He said, we raised our kids, and now we have grandkids, and my wife finally said to me the other day, you know what? All the giving you've done your whole life, you've worked hard. Go get your truck. And he said, my wife blessed me and gave me the opportunity to take some of that money and pay cash for that truck. I looked at him and I said, you are the example of excelling in everything that comes from 2 Corinthians 8:7. And he looked at me and went, what? Wow, tell me what that says. And I said, well, you know what? It says everything is in excellence, in faith, in speech, in knowledge, and in complete earnestness, and in the love that I have kindled in you, and see that you also excel in this grace of giving, because you gave to your kids and you gave to your family your whole life. Now you can use this truck as a living testament. And you know what? These guys that work in this discount tire store, they're going to know you love Jesus because of what you're going to say, because they're all in all of this truck. And isn't that cool?
It is.
That it's just a thing that's used, to be an example.
Well, that's what
but
we're supposed to. We're supposed to use things.
That's right.
Not
That's right.
love things.
So let's raise the standard of giving.
Okay.
And I'm looking for something else to do to give. So
Well, you can't have anything in here. I need all this for.
you're going away for a few days. Don't be careful, and this house might be cleaned out.
Don't you touch my piano. That was a gift from God.
I know. All right, Jeffrey. Well, thank you for being a part of this episode, and we just appreciate everyone who listens to this because we don't know why you do. But at the same time, we want you to listen to the voice of God, raise your standard of giving today, and be thankful because nobody outbeats God when it comes to blessing others.